Good afternoon. We're on Saturday, the first Saturday after Ash Wednesday, on 25th of February 2023, and it's 2 or 3 minutes past 4 p.m. I'm going to be sharing with you the Mass readings for today, Saturday. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Prayer to my guardian angel. O angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here, ever this day be at my side, to light, to guard, to rule and guide. Amen. Prayer to Saint Michael the Archangel. Defend us in the day of battle. Be our safeguard against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do you, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the other evil spirits who prowl through the world seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. And a prayer before reading sacred scripture. Open my heart, O Holy Spirit, to receive your inspired word. Grant me wisdom to understand what you want to teach me, and strength of will to follow wherever you lead. Amen. I went to a Latin Mass this morning. It was beautiful. Beautiful. The readings are in English though, and the homily, so everybody can follow. So, liturgical readings for Saturday, Lent after Ash Wednesday, and the general theme: the following of Christ implies a leaving behind of what causes unhappiness in our own lives and that of others, and calls us to the greater service of God. The first reading is from the prophet Isaiah, chapter 58, verses 9 to 14, and the theme: your light will rise in the darkness. The Lord says this: if you do away with the yoke, the clenched fist, the wicked word, if you give your bread to the hungry and relief to the oppressed, your light will rise in the darkness, and your shadows become like noon. The Lord will always guide you, giving you relief in desert places. He will give you strength to your bones, and you shall be like a watered garden, like a spring of water, whose waters never run dry. You will rebuild the ancient ruins, build up on the old foundations. You will be called breach mender, restorer of ruined houses, if you refrain from trampling the Sabbath and doing business on the holy day. If you call the Sabbath delightful and the day sacred to the Lord honourable, if you honour it by abstaining from travel, from doing business, and from gossip, then shall you find your happiness in the Lord, and I will lead you triumphant over the heights of the land. I will feed you on the heritage of Jacob your father, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. A reading from the book of Psalms, Psalm 85, and your response. Show me, Lord, your way, so that I may walk in your truth. Show me, Lord, your way, so that I may walk in your truth. Turn your ear, O Lord, and give answer, for I am poor and needy. Preserve my life, for I am faithful. Save the servant who trusts in you. Show me, Lord, your way, so that I may walk in your truth. You are my God. Have mercy on me, Lord, for I cry to you all the day long. Give joy to your servant, O Lord, for to you I lift up my soul. Show me, Lord, your way, so that I may walk in your truth. O Lord, you are good and forgiving, full of love to all who call. Give heed, O Lord, to my prayer, and attend to the sound of my voice. Show me, Lord, your way, so that I may walk in your truth. There is no Alleluia in Lent. Glory and praise to you, O Christ. You are the Word of God. Harden not your hearts today, but listen to the voice of the Lord. Glory and praise to you, O Christ. You are the Word of God. I take pleasure not in the death of a wicked man. It is the Lord who speaks, but in turning back of a wicked man who changes his ways to win life. Glory and praise to you, O Christ. You are the Word of God. The Lord be with you and with your spirit. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke chapter 5, verses 27 to 32. Glory to you, O Lord. The theme: I have not come to call the virtuous, but sinners to repentance. Jesus noticed a tax collector, Levi by name, sitting by the customs house, and he said to him, "Follow me." And leaving everything, he got up and followed him. In his honor, Levi held a great reception in his house, and with them at table was a large gathering of tax collectors and others. The Pharisees and their scribes complained to his disciples and said, "Why do you eat and drink with tax collectors and sinners?" Jesus said to them in reply, "It is not those who are well who need the doctor, but the sick. I have not come to call the virtuous, but sinners to repentance." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. So it's very short readings today, and I'm going to share briefly the reflection. We're Saturday after Ash Wednesday, and the readings taken from Gospel of Luke 5, verses 27 to 32. In the first reading, the Lord, speaking through the prophet Isaiah, says, "If you give your bread to the hungry and relief to the oppressed, your light will rise in the darkness." It is evident from the Gospels that Jesus gave bread to the hungry and relief to the oppressed, and as a result, his light, the light of God's love, rose in the darkness. Jesus gave both physical bread to the physically hungry and spiritual bread to the spiritual hungry. In today's Gospel reading, Jesus is a guest at the table of Levi, the tax collector, whom Jesus had just called to follow him. At table, Jesus is receiving physical bread from his host, but he is also giving spiritual bread to his host and fellow guests. He is making present to them the God who seeks out the lost and who brings healing to the broken, like a doctor whose primary concern is the physically broken. Jesus' primary concern is for both the physically broken and the spiritually broken. As he says, he has come not to call the virtuous, but sinners to repentance. Levi and his fellow tax collectors were physically well and probably materially comfortable, but they were spiritually ill, or at least made to feel so by others who looked down on them as sinners. Jesus recognized that they were no greater sinners than those who looked down on them, and he was assuring them that they were loved sinners, that God wanted to embrace them in his love, and in doing so, to transform their lives for the better. The risen Lord is present to us in our spiritual brokenness, reassuring us that if we are sinners, we are loved sinners. As we come to appreciate ourselves as loved sinners, we will be empowered, as Levi was, to take a direction in life that is in keeping with all that is best and deepest in us. Thank you so much for listening. May God bless you and heal you. I'm sending you his peace in abundance, and may you always be happy and joyful in the Lord. I have a little time to, I'm going to do a little something on Lent, but I won't join it to this. I'll do it on its own, but you'll see it up there. It won't be very long, but just a few thoughts on Lent. So after reading sacred scripture, I thank you, Holy Spirit, for the word you have spoken to me through the treasure of the scripture. Make these words a living reality in my life, a constant guide, a lamp for my feet, and a light to my path. Amen. Come, Holy Spirit, guide us, work in us with your gifts, so that your presence may be shown, and that we may serve in different ways for the good of all. Spirit of the living God, you alone search out everything, even the depths of God's intentions. Remain with us always, that we may know all that God has freely bestowed on us, that we may rightly judge and value all things. Lead me, O Holy Spirit, that I may put to death all sinful thoughts and actions. Lead me, O Holy Spirit, that I may live as God's child. Lead me, O Holy Spirit, that I may be free from slavery to sin. Lead me, O Holy Spirit, that I may pray and cry out, Abba, Father. Lead me, O Holy Spirit, that I may possess the inheritance of grace that awaits me. Thank you for listening. May God bless you and heal you. I'm sending you his peace in abundance, and may you always be happy and joyful in the Lord. Have a wonderful weekend, and I hope you can get to Mass, whether it's a Novus Ordo or a Latin Mass. It's good to try to go every Sunday during Lent, if possible. God bless. Thank you.